Hello and good day. I am DANKS BURTON, President of the North Carolina Masonry Contractors Association. NCMCA has been in existence for 47 years. It was started by a few masonry contractors in the western part of North Carolina and soon expanded to the full state. The association is made up of contractor members from the mountains to the sea, from small towns to big cities, small residential to multi-million-dollar commercial contractors. We're a diverse group. In addition to masonry contractors, we have a large group of associate members representing brick, block, mortar, accessories, scaffold, and many other forms of equipment. We are the finest state masonry contractor association in the United States. Our founders would be impressed. We are fortunate to have Lynn Nash as our executive director for 24 years, an enthusiastic workforce and development training coordinator in Ryan Shaver, an impressive certification program, and members who give their time and resources to advance the masonry industry. Our association holds an annual convention each spring. Unfortunately, the 20 and 21 events were canceled. I wonder why. At our conventions, we conduct business at our annual board meeting, offer educational sessions, we have social gatherings, spouses lunch, golf, and a closing banquet. But most importantly, the opportunity to gather with peers and suppliers in a relaxed setting to network. We hope you will make plans to attend our next convention in April 2022 in Greenville, South Carolina. The main reason for this video, the association awards the Eleanor Flowers Upton Award at our annual convention. This award is presented to associate members who have demonstrated exemplary service to the association over a period of years. This is not an annual award. It's presented only when an associate member is recognized as a worthy recipient. I would like to introduce David McQueen with Oldcastle Adams Products, our most recent recipient of this award in 2018. David?
Hello, my name is David McQueen and I work with Oldcastle APG Adams. Today I've been asked to share some thoughts about the Eleanor Upton Award. Before the pandemic, I bumped into James Lowry at a garage here in Raleigh. Some of you may remember him. I expect that many of you may not. You see, Jim's been retired from Adams for over 20 years now, and even I hadn't seen him myself until that day. He's apparently still driving some, as coincidentally I bumped into him as he was picking a vehicle up. I was dropping one off. Well, when I saw him, I knew exactly who he was, and I decided to go over and visit with him. And as I greeted him, I introduced myself, and I told him how much I appreciated him making the decision to hire me 31 years ago to come to work at Adams. Well, Jim looked at me and he smiled and he said, "Has it been that long?" Well, today I've been asked to share some thoughts about the Upton Award and what it meant to me and what it means to me to have received it back in 2018. And when Lynn Nash asked me to put some comments together, he said, "You know, when you're recognized like this, you really don't have a lot of time to put your thoughts together." He sort of caught off guard. And you know he's right. That night at the convention, when I heard my name called and I went up and received the recognition, I'm not exactly sure what I said. I know that I managed to string a few sentences of appreciation together, and that was about it. Well, I started my comments about the Upton Award mentioning my encounter with Jim Lowry because it's amazing to me how the decisions that others make oftentimes help to shape your life. You see, for me, before I came to work at Adams, Jim Lowry had decided to offer me the position. And as I agreed, that decision has led to me working for the industry that supports all of us for over 30 years, masonry. To me, the Upton Award is a great example of a similar decision that the association made back in the 1970s. Long before I came to work at Adams, Eleanor Upton was hired to be the first executive director of the North Carolina Masonry Contractors Association. I didn't have the privilege of knowing her, but from what I've read and what I've heard, she was an amazing individual. She was a people person. She was the right person for the job. The name of her company was Upton & Associates, and from what I understand, it was a family business. Her husband and her daughter worked alongside her as they helped to chart a path of growth for the association to help it become what it is today. After she retired in 1998, it was decided to rename the award that was known as the Outstanding Associate Member Award to be known as the Eleanor Flowers Upton Award. The night I was recognized, John Kramer characterized her as a great friend of the association. As I mentioned, I never had the privilege of knowing her, I see the passion that she had for her work and the level of respect that the association holds for this award. You see, unlike CSI and AIA, where you can be nominated for fellowship or sponsored by an individual to help achieve the award, this award is not something you earn by submission. In fact, it's not offered annually, it's offered occasionally. And over the last 50 years, it's only been offered 11 times. So I'd like to share the names of the other individuals that I share this recognition with. Ray Hollyfield, 1981. Billy Walker, 1985. John Kramer, 1997. Eleanor Upton, 1998. Jimmy Wall, 1999. Danny Batten, 2001. Freddie McMahon, 2005. Paul Levine, 2011. Butch Hardy, 2012. And Kenny Duncan in 2013. You know, earning the respect of your industry peers is something that's hard to put into words. I will tell you that there's nothing that I work more diligently to protect than that of the respect of my customers, my colleagues, and my industry peers. I see my name listed alongside the other recipients, and it's very humbling. I know some of them, and I see the contributions that they've made to our industry. So some of you may have visited our office here at Morrisville, and maybe even seen my office. It's not much to look at. I've got just about every square foot filled with samples or literature. It's one of those places I consider to be a safe spot here at the plant. When I received the plaque, I decided to hang it just to the right of the door so that I would notice it every time that I walked out. And I chose to do that to let it serve as an example to me to conduct myself in a manner that would honor Eleanor's legacy to the association. Thank you. In 2020, a nomination was received and approved for the next Upton Award. Because of the pandemic, we weren't able to meet face-to-face to make the presentation. That's why we're making this video today. So now I'd like to call on Michael Rogers, a representative of the Land of the Sky chapter, to make the presentation of the 2020 Eleanor Flowers Upton Award.
Thank you, David, and congratulations on your well-deserved recognition also. My name is Michael Rogers with Michael J. Rogers Masonry, and I'm representing the Land of the Sky Masonry chapter. Today, I have the privilege of introducing our recipient of the 2020 Eleanor Flowers Upton Award, presented for exemplary service by an associate member. We're here today to recognize David Bass for his exemplary service to the masonry industry, the many years of service and passion that he had for all of his customers, not just some of them, but all of them, and went above and beyond. We appreciate him doing that. We at the Land of the Sky Masonry chapter felt there was no more deserving than David Bass, and we tried to do this last year, but COVID kind of kept us from making this award at the convention, and so we thank you for joining with us to listen to the presentation. David worked for Metromont, Cemex, and Adams, Oldcastle, for 32 years. From 1987 until 2019. I have personally known David for 25 years plus. I guess it was about 96, 97 in that era that I became acquainted with him. David was a dispatcher at that time, and David just extraordinarily just made things happen. That was and he wanted to make things happen. He could shuffle things and just he was here to serve his customer. I think whenever we talk about service, we think about the people who we have affected in a good way, and everybody that he served, it was a positive outcome without question. I knew David as a dispatcher, and then I also knew him as a salesman, and from a personal level. there was a period of time that we had began trading with another competitor, and David was dispatching at that time, and Gary Hensley moved him into a sales position, outside sales, and I think I was one of the first customers that David came to, and he wanted to earn my business back. And because of our relationship and because of the service that David provided for me and our company, as while he was dispatching, it was an easy sale. To be quite frankly, he asked me, we had some big jobs coming up at that time. This was in 2007. And David wanted to know if I would do breakfast. And so he and I met, and by the time that hour breakfast was done, I had committed to David that I would bring all of my business back to Cemex at that time, and just that relationship, and I knew that David would take care of me, and he has. Whenever I would call David many times, and I'd say, David, where are you at? And he wouldn't tell me where he was at, but instead he would say, what you need, Michael? What you need, Michael? Always, always. That was the first thing. And then I would tell him what I needed, and didn't matter where he was at. He tried his best. Sometimes he would load it on his personal truck, and whether it be a bundle of wire or whether it was some 12-inch halves, he would put them on his pickup truck, and he would bring them to me. David not only knew me, David knew my office staff. He knew my foreman. He knew my guys in the field. He knew my name. David's interest was in making everybody money. He wanted everybody to make money. Not only did David do the little things. I know of a particular general contractor that he would deliver donuts to. Every Thursday morning, he would deliver donuts to this particular contractor. There would be times that he would deliver my favorite, Chick-fil-A biscuits, to my office. And he'd call me the morning before and he'd say, how many people in your office today? And he would do that. Just a personal touch that he had. But David not only did the little things like that, David did the big things. And again, his interest was in us as the customer making money. Let me speak on behalf of the Land of the Sky Masonry chapter. And David was vital in the local Land of the Sky Masonry contest every March. David and I would begin having conversation 2 or 3 weeks prior. We'd talk about the number of students who would register. We talked all the way up until about Tuesday or Wednesday, and David would always, he would be the one to go get the food from Sam's Club, make sure that we had enough, and he'd always tell me, I want to make sure that we've got more than enough. And he would come on that Friday, he would set it up, he would cook, just genuine service person. And faithful to our chapter meetings every month. You could count on David being there. He would even line up vendors. David was the treasurer, but yet he was lining up the vendors to come and speak to us and give us suggestions for the program that night. And again, the little things and the big things as well. I thought about this regarding David. David servicing his customers, and that's what he's known for. In doing so, David was serving his company. He knew if he could help his customer make money, he was making the company make money, whether it was Metromont or Cemex or Adams. Some people would say, well, it sounds like that he spoiled you. I would say no to that. And I would say no because he didn't spoil us, but he was servicing us. Serving us, yes. But also in doing that, David secured our business. That's what it was. He secured the business that we would give to the company. Now let's hear from a few more of David's friends so they can offer their congratulations as well.
I'm Steve Stout with Merrill Masonry, and I've known Dave Bass since day one when he started at the counter at Adams Concrete. I guess it was Metromont back then. And the first impression I had of Dave, I was in there one day when the counter's backed up, the phone is ringing, you've seen the store like that, and Dave's on the phone with a highway patrolman because they had some kind of incident with one of their trucks on the interstate. And Dave never missed a beat. When he's talking to the highway patrolman, he was still waiting on people, being polite, taking their orders, answering the other phone, and I was just real impressed that he could keep his cool and keep doing his job through that kind of pressure. And also, you've heard other stories about Dave, his great service. I'm sure people have been talking about that. And there was one time we were running out of grout, which Adams seems to do that a lot these days. And someone was coming in that morning, and we just had to have it. Worked on an elevator shaft. We had to grout right away. The building inspector's waiting. That 2,000-pound bag of grout came in, and Dave put that in the back of his Toyota Tundra, which I drive a Toyota Tundra also, and I would never put that kind of weight in it. But Dave did. Not only did it once, he went back and got us another bag and brought it to the job. Just sacrificed his own personal truck to service us. And that's just the kind of guy Dave Bass is. So congratulations, Dave. You deserve this award.
My name's Don Caldwell. I'm CNR Masonry, and I knew David from the very start when he came in and came in wearing a pink shirt and went to work at the counter. But I learned to appreciate David for not only being a great human being, but truly cared for his family of masonry construction workers. And so, you know, with David, you could place an order at 4 o'clock in the morning, and he would tell you that truck would be there sometime after lunch. So that gave him a wide margin when you'd get your stuff. And I think he learned that from one of the other salesmen at Metromont. But I truly know that David cares about his people, and we still love him and care for him also, and wish him well. And I think that he's very well deserving of this award.
My name is Gary Kitchen, Outlaw Masonry. My story about Bass is kind of unusual, but we all loved him. But he'd be driving, and I rode with him to Greensboro to the state contest one time, and we're running about 80 miles an hour down the road. He's got a cell phone on this side, leaned up, and he's got a pen over here, and he keeps looking down, trying to write notes while he's driving with his knee. It'll scare the living daylights out of you. But we all loved him and knew he cared about, all of us, and he always made sure he tried to get you fixed up with your order or whatever, and he truly went out of his way to make it happen. And we're sorely gonna miss him, but he definitely deserves this award. But thank you, Bass, for all you've done, and thank most of all his wife, Kim, because she put up with him. Congratulations, David. Keep driving. Watch your speed limit, David.
Good afternoon. My name is Gary Hensley, and I'm with Adams Oldcastle, Vice President of Sales in Asheville, North Carolina, North and South Carolina. I first want to say a deep thank you and a gratitude to the NCMCA for the Eleanor Upton Award for recognizing vendor for their service to their customers. I don't think there's any greater award in business that you can have than being recognized by your customers. So with that said, the Eleanor Upton Award being awarded to David Bass, that was out of Asheville here, worked at our Asheville office, has been awarded this award, and we are so excited for David. I know David is retired from us at this point, and such a well-deserved retirement, I'll put it that way. And But I wanted to say just a few things about David, that working with him over the years. I worked with him more than 18 years. And he's been with the company 32 years. And there's not been a time that we've not had feedback from customers and from developers of what kind of individual David was as far as when it came to service and their business and caring for them. We all recognized it. His service was absolutely unparalleled to his customers, either when he was a dispatcher for a number of years and inside sales, or when he went to outside sales. I'll never forget the time that when I offered David the job of outside salesman, he said, "Do you think I can handle it?" And I said, "David, I don't think there's anybody any better equipped to handle outside sales than yourself." And he did an incredible job for us for a number of years. David's service went beyond just caring for the customer on a job site or on a project site, and or when he was dispatching. He took it personal. He was very passionate about doing the service the way that David felt like it needed to be done. And I don't care if it was 4:30 in the morning or 10 o'clock at night. He would receive those calls and he would be on it in the next few minutes. He'd show up on a project site, or he would make sure that load was delivered. And so it was greatly appreciated. And that only not gives service just to the customer, but it services our company as well when somebody cares for their customer and as passionately as David did it. He not only cared for the customer for their business, but he became very personal with the customer. If they were having, if they had lost a loved one, or if someone was sick, David was the first one to show up on the site, show up at their home, or show up with whatever they needed. And it was always fed back to us. And that's how we often become family to each other. And David was just that. He was family to a lot of his customers. I will never forget the time that it's actually a relative of mine, a lady that was a builder here in Asheville named Zora Hayes. And Zora was here in the office with her husband, and I was talking to her, and she said, "Well, Gary, I'm really here to see David Bass." So she wanted to talk to David, and David walked up about that time, and I thought I was having a great conversation with Zora and Bob, but she said, "Gary, let me tell you," he said, she said, if it weren't for Bob, my husband, I'd be going after David." And so he serviced us all that well, and she said, "I just love that man." And so that carried over to a lot of relationship with David. I did tell Zora that Kim might have something to say about that, but I understood Zora. So again, today, it is a great honor and a privilege for me to be able to even participate in this, but also to congratulate David on this award and to congratulate his family as well, Kim and JD. We certainly love and appreciate all of them. And again, from Adams Oldcastle, congratulations, David.
Thank you for all your comments. Also, our gratitude for those who watched this presentation. We'd also like to thank David's wife, Kim, and their son, JD, for sacrificing and sharing David with us. On behalf of the North Carolina Masonry Contractors Association, I now present the 2020 Eleanor Flowers Upton Award to David Bass. Congratulations.